3 at this point. You can hopefully hear the shouting in the background. That is Team 1, as you might expect.
I don't want to be the guy who says this, but I don't think that Team 1 entered this event thinking that they would make it to the finals.
Nobody did.
I mean, nobody did, literally.
Yeah.
Nobody did.
I mean, you're not that guy because everyone's that guy.
That's true.
And it's awesome to see.
Ooh. A Ying band coming out, and I wish I spoke Portuguese because they see the Ying band, and Team 1 absolutely howled, and we don't know exactly what they were saying. A very conventional second band to follow as Thatcher is no more.
So this map has been played once by Empire in recent history. They beat BDS on it just yesterday, so that was cool. On the side of Team 1, they've been playing it quite a lot, winning against Liquid, BDS, Furia, FaZe, Santos Dex, but that's, not yet this major. But the point is, this is a very comfortable map for Team 1 that Empire have brought us to, especially if you look further than just the majors results. So that the ban phase now concluded here. I'll see if Empire has the tricks up their sleeves that are necessary to take this one. We've seen Empire get really big wins on Coastline before, against like G2, for example, way back in some older tournaments.
Well, it's a good playground for them, and it would set up Consulate to be yet another opportunity for Empire to put it away. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Team 1 is going to start on attack on what is typically described as a very, very attacker-favored map.
It's often brought up that recently it's been kind of balanced as maps go. And I'm just going to check here because I'm curious what it's been at this major. You always see for each event some different results, not only from players and teams, but on what's good and what's bad for maps. If I'm looking at the stats right now, it's been 53% defender-sided rating, and that's actually of 7 plays, so it's been played quite a lot. Chalet has been the most attacker-sided map at 40% for the defense in terms of win rate, and that's substantially slanted towards the attackers. Actually, believe it or not, Cafe is more attacker-sided for this event than Coastline.
Chalet missed, or Empire missed the attacker-sided memo on Chalet.
Yeah, they did. They really did.
You get 2 rounds, that's it. No more.
So, I mean, again, Clubhouse was much the same. So, just the opposite direction. So, I mean, it balances out. All things balanced, Parker.
All things considered.
All things
You
considered.
can say
Are we
all
saying
things
it?
considered. You can say all things considered.
I wasn't trying to say that.
Well, you can say it anyway.
I could say it. All things considered.
First bit of action right now, and Scyther has already taken a bit of damage. Don't exactly know what the game plan was here. It's a hookah defense to start off Coastline for Team Empire. Team 1 will look to clear out that top floor before they can transition to the site. The focus is going to be over towards Penthouse and Theater. Take control of that, then hold VIP, and you can begin to push onto the bomb site as well. Luggage will be an incredibly...
That's a player. That was, I think... No, it's not. Okay. Ooh. Looked like it might have been, but the silhouette is deceptive.
It's time for the
amount of times on 3-story maps where you see a silhouette.
I know.
Is it on the floor below? I don't know. KDS and Lagonis take a lot of damage. I don't know what exactly happened, but ShepparD is here. Grenade goes in, eaten up. He goes ring around the Rosie. We are only a minute into action, and half of the server is dead. The advantage falls in favor of Team 1 once all the chips are down. Scyther and JoyStiCK reign, but Scyther tags one, traded out. JoyStiCK botches the C4. KDS getting the diffuser down. It'll be Neskin to cover. In the corner, does JoyStiCK have any intel? He does on Neskin, but he can't land the shot, so he'll be playing behind a deployable shield, and KDS finishes him off as round number 1 very quickly goes to the Brazilian team.
Team 1 getting very loud. I hope we have mics on their table, or at least I hope you can hear it through my microphone, as they are excited and amped up after the win that they just acquired, taking the first round of the map, and that's the momentum that Team 1 needs. Empire, they'll be fine. They don't need necessarily to get that first round. But Team 1 nabbing that, so big. It will get them more rounds. It's weird because we're talking about this almost as if we're playing a game that has economy. But there isn't. It's just that Team 1 is very particular in the way that they play.
Yeah. Well, Team 1 looking to put their stamp on this map already, and I'd say an admirable job through that first round. You're going to have a couple more of that. I don't think Empire is going to allow you to take up so much map control so quickly again.
No.
Obviously, the lineup from Team 1 this time around looks suited to do the same thing. You've got the Lion on the board, which always allows for a bull rush into the site if you choose to employ it that way.
Now, obviously, Empire, they're one of those teams that has slow starts. Talked about this. They're kind of similar to BDS in that way, although I'd say BDS typically has slower starts. However, Team 1 are the type of team that can go so fast that they lock you down and don't give you an opportunity to start up late. So that's going to be one of the worries for Empire as we progress in this. You can see that just now that was Scyther shooting all of the books inside of office. The reason he's doing that is because there were actually a number of drones being hidden behind the books yesterday. We actually saw a lot of that. I think Empire just did some VOD review, and they're like, yeah, let's not let that happen again.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Coastline is a map that a lot of people say is played out. There's not a lot of room to do things differently on it. Oh my goodness. Well, Dan, I don't know exactly what the game plan was there, but Lagonis ends your round very early on before it's even began.
Yeah, so that's Dan the Man on the floor. And I think Empire needs Dan to perform. Having him dead early on, this is kind of similar to yesterday when we saw Shaiko dying early a lot. I mean, Shaiko ended up playing amazingly in that series overall, but he had some rounds where he would die, and it would be really easy for their opponents, in that case Empire, to take the round as a result. Dan being the first pick, not ideal.
Gotta reload.
All right, well, that early pick will potentially snowball as Team 1 look to take up more map control. The Jaeger, whose impact in terms of utility is already spread throughout the map, will not be impactful with the gadgets as they will persist, but you know that Empire, as you pointed out, a good comparable to Shaiko, as a player like Dan needs to stay until the very bitter end. But you don't make it to the grand finals without some major depth here. JoyStiCK is a player that also needs to stay alive, and for but a second it appeared that he wanted to take a gunfight. He decides that it's not a wise idea. He'll barricade kitchen and head back. This is a double bar defense for Empire right now. So the parts that you need to control on attack could be kitchen.
Ooh.
It could also be cool vibe stairs. And that Rotero drone is going to go out, blow up the deployable shield, and also the Aruni gate goes too. The ADS is staying passive though.
That is maximum distance from that Rotero drone, and the second one will go in. ShepparD takes about 30 HP away from him, and that's not ideal for Empire, but he's got the gas canisters to slow this down. Nades to cut the cross, and nades to get ShepparD, but he stays alive, staying slippery in this position.
You can toss out another toxic canisters. There's still a minute to go. He's got none left. Not ideal coverage. Another Rotero drone will go on in. That's Lagonis guiding it forward. He's still got one remaining, but it gets smoked by ShepparD in that position. They're going to look to try to flash him out as he's on such low HP, and the smoke of ShepparD is the target that they want. Another EE1D goes down, and the grenade is successful. They've blown their way in, and they'll continue to roll forward. A Nitro cell answered back as JoyStiCK watched from the window. He's gunned down. Team 1 are looking methodical in the way that they're holding these angles. Scyther's been compelled to action, but he doesn't know if there's somebody from above. He'll try as he might, but it's not good enough. And a flawless round for Team 1 awaits if Always can't get any kills. But he does, and it's a huge one. He'll have to get more, and he won't do it. Ali Mao seals the deal, and Team 1 goes up 2-0.
Wow, Parker, we are seeing some, as you say, methodical Coastline from Team 1. Alamau letting them know. They can definitely hear that one, Parker, despite the headphones. So, up 2-0 here for Team 1. That last round, complete lockout for Empire. It's interesting because Team 1 looked like they were going to try and address other parts of the building. They looked like they wanted to pressure service entrance. They wanted to maybe do a top clear a little bit, have some fun with it, do some different things. But then they ended up just focusing all their efforts on Sunrise through mud. And I like that because there was a lot that they had to do to chip away at that mud hole that ShepparD was bringing. They accomplished that goal. The utility play from Team 1 is something that is undervalued. Often people will just say, oh yeah, Team 1's they're aggressive, typical LATAM team, haha. That's total bullhooey. They are a very well-structured and very sensible team in their structure. What they are is dynamic. They're able to apply the tools that are necessary to fulfill the job at a moment's notice on the fly. So Team 1 adjusted in that round almost so faintly that you might not have even caught it. And then once they started hitting through mud, they stuck to that like a tick. And ShepparD had no chance of getting out.
That certainly conjures up imagery, doesn't it? A tick.
I mean,
nobody likes ticks, but everybody knows what they do, and everybody knows how annoying they are.
Yeah, you know, I as soon as I said it, I was like, I don't know if that really works, but I
don't think it's a bad
I had to push
comparison
through
for the
with
record.
it.
I think it's perfectly apt.
Yeah. And Empire is struggling with that because they're not dynamic. Never have been.
Yeah.
It usually doesn't matter for them, though, because they've got the talent to back it up. Let's see here. Alamau, early damage taken.
Yeah, he almost loses his life.
Oh!
Oh, and, well, he will. Dan gets his revenge for being the first to die for Empire, and Team 1 finally find themselves trailing after that first pick.
Yeah, so that's a really good start there for Empire, and it's something that they haven't had a lot of as of late. Even if you go back to Chalet, they didn't get a lot of those early picks. Dan droned out there, but the bars are still available, and that's actually going to provide a little bit of cover. And he'll continue to try and contest. That drone was spotting him out. Really good drone work from Team 1. Their information game is another thing that I think is underrated when it comes to Team 1. They are excellent at droning for each other and having pre-placed drones in position to catch opponents off guard.
Dan's going to test his reflexes yet again, feeling good after that first shot. And there goes a Nitro Cell, but KDS expects it, and he just backs away. So Dan gambles on it, walks away with 25 HP.
You know, the thing about C4s like that, Parker, is that they never work unless somebody's on drone right next to the doorway. Oh, KDS is in, down goes ShepparD. They're looking for another. You could see that Dan is low HP inside the main lobby. He challenges bathroom, and it's going to work for him. Not a single bullet landed by KDS, but there you go. Levy gets the re in almost a second, but it's an even exchange of HP just about as Levy uses his EE1D.
Trying to paralyze any of the players from Empire, but none of them take the bait on that EE1D. Flores of Lagonis is still very far outside as it's another double bar defense now for Empire, attempting to right the wrongs of the previous round. So far, they find themselves on even footing, and it was almost flawlessly done for Team 1 in the previous round, so Empire have a better shot at the moment.
It's a very different attack from Team 1 as well. They're coming from the main lobby side service entrance. They fully committed to it this time, and it ended up costing them a lot with the push in through service and bathroom.
Seems to be making a huge difference for Team Empire right now as Team 1 will circle the wagons and try to get themselves into proper position. They spy the entire bottom of those soft walls open up, and a Mozzie Pest will actually grab the Rotero drone. Two players from Empire waiting in the same spot. They get spotted out. Levy will be the one on the chase, but he gets swung on by Scyther, instinctively hearing him marching down the security hall. Final 20 seconds left, and Empire looking to get themselves on the board. Lagonis toiling outside of office. He knows that he's got very limited time to get in and plant that diffuser. His coverage will be Neskin, and he takes out Always as Lagonis continues to steamroll in. Lots of damage to Scyther. Pistol out. He wins it, but only 4 seconds to get in and get the diffuser planted. JoyStiCK's attention is elsewhere on 0-0. He gets it down, but JoyStiCK now in a 1v1. All he has to do is stop this, and there's a second left. A Nitro Cell is good enough, and Empire picks up their first round in this map.
Oh boy, Parker. Well, it's a good thing that JoyStiCK was the last one alive, and you can see he's happy about it. You could tell it's painted all over his face. Because if it had been some of the other players that aren't just hitting their shots right now on Empire, I don't know. That's scary. And the reason why I say that's scary is because Empire were a shoo-in for the win there. But then this office hold goes disastrously. Always and Scyther having trouble with that, and it almost ended up going the way of Team 1. And you can imagine their hype levels would have been through the roof had it gone that way. So, Team 1 now finally losing a round. Took them a while. But Empire claw that one away. And they'll go over to Kitchen to see if they can get another. And Oryx is being brought here from Dan. Now that's quite interesting.
He did this yesterday, by the way.
He did
this was the same bomb site, and he ran it twice against BDS.
And it's, you know, it's because you've got those drop downs. There's so much you can do with those drops on this map. Offering yourself that movement enables a player like Dan, and I talked about this yesterday when he did this. Yeah, and it's just cool to see little niche plays from operators like this. So we'll see if Dan meets any success on that Oryx. There's no guarantee of it, but it's just fun. It's different. It's something to catch Team 1 off guard, potentially.
I don't think the Oryx from Dan, for the record, was successful at all against BDS yesterday. So I am extremely curious to see the way that he will employ it and if it will be any better against Team 1.
It's a very different team, right? So maybe. We'll find out. I mean, Empire versus BDS was like almost like fighting someone in the mirror.
Yeah.
But this is a whole different story. I don't know, Team 1 have been, I talked about that earlier, Team 1 have been so good with their drones. Same way that Empire's been really good with their drones. So, I don't know. I don't think it's going to work that well, but I'm looking forward to it. It's not the only factor, of course, in this round or in this map that's going to be really important to pay attention to. JoyStiCK has been droned out down here. The enemy knows that he's there. You can see the drone behind the pillow. JoyStiCK has not spotted it. Alimao is calling that out for his team. It might be the first pick if Team 1 decide to focus on it.
Scyther playing on Cool Vibe stairs in case anybody wants to push him from Hookah Balk. He will hold that angle that leads from the double bars into kitchen. So the site that they just played on double bars will still be a point of focus for Team 1.
Oh.
Levy has control inside of it as a Rotero drone goes out. Empire need to be very careful of what happens next. And Levy just misses an opportunity, but gets the right call onto Dan. 2 big kills for Levy as he's still in that position, and it forces Empire to have to replay. ShepparD takes down Levy, but there's more work to be done. The.oNe jumps in, trying to capitalize on the chaos that had ensued, but Empire was prepared and ready for that. There's still one player there's upstairs, always commandingly holding Penthouse. He's also got the drop opened up. Mouse position given away on Cool Vibe stairs. So there's some intel to help Empire moving forward.
A small lull in the action here as, Lagonis sprang through the wall. He's going to do some damage there, but not enough to get a kill. You still have players upstairs, as you mentioned. That's Always trying to hold the top floor. Spray through the wall for Alimao, and he's got 150 rounds in that drum magazine. He's going to be able to do quite a lot of work on the site. It's more like a barrel, actually. I don't know. It's huge.
Belt-fed.
Belt-fed, yeah.
I mean, I'm not a gun guy, but it's
yeah.
a pretty decent weapon. Anyway, with that said, Alimao creeping through luggage. Lagonis is right by main lobby. 40 seconds left, and I have to assume that the plant is going to go down over by that service door. But you have to make sure that you've got your I's dotted and your T's crossed, whether it be from above or on the wings and edges of the bomb site. That's the focus right now of Neskin as he destroys the floor of Penthouse. He's still going to hold this angle, and when that plant goes down, looking towards that B bomb, he'll ensure that there's no covers that can be had from Empire. A toxic canister goes out, and 2 as it also tries to smoke off bathroom. In bursts Lagonis, and he wins his gunfight. Really remarkable stuff from them. Through the bars, Scyther's trying his best. He'll have to play around the deployable shield as Neskin holds the cross. He gets taken down. Lagonis is on such low HP, but the diffuser goes successfully, and they scamper off. Team 1 looking to stretch their lead here. Flores playing, and that's a tough shot to hit for ShepparD. He's only inches away from the diffuser. He can move to it, but he's going to have to take out these players from Team 1 first. Finding himself in this 1v2, this is a very hard way for ShepparD to play the remainder of the round, and dare I say it, virtually impossible. He'll test them as he goes on. The sound cue gives it away that he's on the diffuser, and you know that he's not going to be able to do it with 2 players from Team 1 well outside. That's an easy hold for them, and they are up 3-1 on Coastline.
And the problem that round? Simple. Your smoke's in main lobby. He's not in a position to deny the diffuser plant. He could have been in bathroom. There was vertical play, of course, coming out from Team 1, so your typical position by the bomb chassis is not going to be an option. But look at this. Look at this start. So this is actually leading into a greater thought when it comes to Empire and Team 1. Team 1 are really good at finding the opportunities. Again, their drone work is impeccable. And when they find those opportunities, they exploit the hell out of them. Yeah. Nobody holding blue bar, you can't roam in Sunrise if you don't have at least Sun Hall covered, preferably blue bar or office. You can't do it because you're going to get what Levy just did. That's what's going to happen. So that's on Empire. But then Empire gets 2 kills to answer that back. And see, that's the greater thought I wanted to discuss with Empire. They are so rock solid when they're actually prepared, when they're ready for it.
I hate the Oryx pick that Dan has brought on this site every single time. I have now moved firmly into the camp of play anything else. Now, against BDS, the intention for the Oryx was to play upstairs in Aquarium and also be able to play through down below in Office. If you need to, Oryx can very easily vault back up through the hatches, and he can rotate through the map actually faster than anybody else because he can achieve speeds faster than 3-speed if he uses his charge or his dash.
Zoom, zoom.
He can sprint across the map quite effectively. But I have not seen anything out of Dan through those 3 rounds that lead me to believe that the Oryx pick is a good idea for Empire. And with how strong Dan is, he's been surrendered as that first pick on 2 of those 3 rounds he played as Oryx. It's not an ideal spot for Empire to find themselves in.
Generally speaking, Empire have not looked nearly as solid on this map than what I was expecting, but maybe it's just the first half. Could change when we switch to the second. We'll find out. Remember, Empire is vastly superior on attack to defense. It's their best side, as a matter of fact. But Team 1 equally not so great on attack. So it's an interesting equation. But there's a lot of factors to consider here. What I can say is I'm very impressed with Team 1's first half so far. And even if they lose these last 2 rounds, 3-3 half, that's pretty good for them, I'd say.
There's another EE1D that'll get burned up. Levy's still got 1 left. He's used them both very early on, 1 minute off of the clock, and we're only a few seconds into that 2nd minute of play. So I don't know if it's done to just try and shove players from Empire into areas where Team 1 can capitalize off of. But it hasn't been able to net them a kill just yet, and it hasn't been used in conjunction with a strong entry. But Dan challenging a fight onto an upside down repelled Ali Mao is not a smart idea. Dan losing some HP in the process.
Nate goes behind the aqua bar. There's no one there. Love that they use the EE1D to potentially force them to stay still, but, well, there's nobody in that position. So information would have been good there for Team 1 if they gathered it before trying that. Dan takes a lot of damage, and he's trying to run away, but, oh, he's just going to get caught from Ali Mao. I'm really not sure what was going through Dan's head there.
He'll go down swinging as Team 1 now confidently marches into Aquarium, and if they can translate that to the default plant spot inside of Billiards, then, well, they can do some significant damage to this defense of Empire and put Empire in a post plant. There's a minute to go, and there you have it. Lagonis on that default spot, getting it planted. Where are the smokes? Where are the nitro cells? None to be found. It misses, and a nitro cell also misses. JoyStiCK picks up a big double kill, though, as Scyther will take the fight to him, and just like that, Empire are running through Team 1. As Scyther distracts, ShepparD is on the counter defuse, and Levy out on hookah balcony is the last one left. He's not going to be able to get to ShepparD in time. Empire win round 5.
You can see Levy wasn't rushing there, and I know it might be really frustrating to see that, but he had no option. If he rushed, if he sprinted, he would have died. So he was taking the one option he had available to him. Really impressive retake from Empire, especially considering how abysmal their initial hold was. That's the thing that I want to point out. Yeah, Empire won that round, but wow, I mean, C4s, gas canisters, where are they? Oh, in Narnia. Okay, cool. So, rough spot there for Empire. Again, they seem so good when they know what they're doing, but sometimes it's like they lose their train of thought. That last round, they knew what they needed to do as soon as the plant went down, and that activated everyone in Empire. They're like, okay, retake, retake, retake. But basic things like denial just aren't happening, and it's really it's weird to watch, Parker. I must be honest. On the other hand, good containment from Team 1. You know, it's part of it is because they are playing well as well. That first pick on a Dan, huge. Opens up Aqua, and they just go straight for the objective. No hesitation. Love to see it.
I mean, Clubhouse is a map that Team 1 don't really play. So because of that, you go in, and of course, Empire wins. Chalet is one of their strongest maps. You see them do really effective work there, and hey, they play great, like we've seen all week thus long, at least since Wednesday onward. Now it looks like Team 1 have definitely showed up. They're hitting their shots, they're confident, they're playing aggressively, and they are managing to outsmart Empire on a lot of these rounds, and it's keeping Empire on their toes. Some forced errors on Empire's side of things that need to be cleaned up, and then we would have a relatively even matchup. It's the final defense for Empire, so it is possible that they are able to tie this, but we'll have to see what happens in here in round 6.
Forced errors are a problem, obviously, but the unforced errors from Empire, I haven't seen many of those through the entire tournament, and I'm seeing them here now. That's what I think is more, you know, present for them.
A good distinction to be made as well.
Yeah.
So,
well,
I feel you on that one.
I mean, right now, this round, still early on, and keep in mind, Empire did just win that last round, very important, so I know we're being hypercritical here, but, of course, they are at least holding their own against Team 1 right now, who do seem like the better team on Coastline. So far.
So far.
Yes.
And I know that Coastline currently skews to the defenders through this event, but I just will never shake the idea that Coastline. I will never shake the idea that Coastline is not better for the attackers. I'm sorry, you cannot tell me otherwise.
It's like 2 or 3%, Parker.
I refuse to change my mind. I refuse.
I'm not trying to change your mind. No, you're right. Yeah, it's definitely one of those maps. But right now, in this round, we've had half of the round transpire. Ground has been gained from Team 1. They have VIP, they have Master, they've got good control upstairs. but they still need to convert that to this double bar. And they need to go for the vertical play. They need to start opening from above, get a pick or two on Empire. There's a lot of steps left to take as we hit the last 85 seconds.
ShepparD is poised and ready for the member from Team 1 to greet him. Neskin will be in a battle for his life, fighting for his life on Cool Vibes stairs, but there will be no vibes, good or bad, to be had.
Oh no. Nil vibes.
Levy's got his backup. No vibes to be found, Michael. This is a very common spot for ShepparD to play off of. I don't know if that was an explosion or bullets or what. But Levy takes some damage in the process. ShepparD was previously nestled on top of those couches inside of Sunrise Bar, but he's not there this time. Oh. Down goes Levy, as always gets the lead-off pick. Ali now knows that he's got somebody in the corner, so he'll fire away, and there you go. He toasts what remains of JoyStiCK, as ShepparD will still hold this angle. All he needs to do is position himself over by Cool Vibe stairs, but Scyther is retaken above. The smoke will go off, and Scyther doesn't need to worry too much. An answer back from Team 1 as Dan goes down. ShepparD losing some HP as KDS has walked into the middle of the site. He doesn't see anybody to the right. ShepparD gets startled by Scyther, and one all of a sudden just clobber the remaining members from Empire, and they take the first half 4-2.
Oh my God, Parker. Do you know what we just saw? ShepparD was playing under Cool Vibe stairs. Scyther's playing in Vase. Scyther gets the kill upstairs in Vase. And then ShepparD smokes Cool Vibes, which is known to be clear. The communication on Empire is abysmal. I've never seen Empire struggle with communication before. Never. They don't do that. They normally communicate well.
Did you catch that look on Levy's face?
No, I did not.
He went wide-eyed when the team kill came in like, is this really happening?
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Am I witnessing this?
I was about to get to that. It's the smoke came out from ShepparD on Cool Vibes, which is where, again, that's where ShepparD's teammate, Scyther, was. And then after the smoke dissipates, Scyther's like, oh yeah, okay, I'll push down Cool Vibes to rejoin my teammates. And then ShepparD pumps him in the chest with a shotgun.
Put one through his chest.
What?
Game over.
I have never seen Empire struggle with communication quite like that. It just doesn't happen with them.
You're gobsmacked at what you just witnessed.
I
haven't seen you this visibly flustered since a specific consulate game.
Let's not. Let's not jump down that rabbit hole.
Which one? Which one? How many consulates have we cast?
Lots of consulates, to be fair.
We got one more coming up next. So,
that's true. It's the next half.
settle in.
Hey. No, but no, Empire played themselves there. They really did play themselves. And Team 1 took full advantage. Team 1 is not tripping up. They are playing solid siege. And they're like, yeah, I mean, if you're going to trip over yourself, we will not catch you. Haha.
You can tell you really care about something when you just don't stop.
Wow, is it? You're gonna do me like that?
Just keep going.
Come on, this was a good tirade, Parker.
It was a great tirade.
It was an
There's never a bad tirade right now.
Are you not entertained?
The magic that Team 1 captured early on in the group stages clearly has not expired just yet, as they made mincemeat of Empire on that first half. But the good news is that Empire now go on to attack. The stats are there, and numbers may not lie, but I think they do. So in this particular instance, I think we're going to see an attacker-sided Coastline, and I have no doubt that Empire will be able to squeeze a couple rounds out and come back. But momentum is hard to argue against in favor of Team 1 at the moment. They are playing with confidence. They are playing with elation. You can tell that they are just presently dialed in, and because of that, that joyousness will show itself in the server.
Yeah, Team 1 are playing the siege that they've been playing throughout the tournament, save for the beginning of the group stages. Because at the beginning of the group stages, Team 1 looked completely inept's not the right word. Lost. That's the one.
They looked like they were suffering from communication. And you know what? We've said this time and time again against teams that Team 1 go up against. Oh, they look lost. When are we going to start to say, it's not that they look lost, it's that Team 1 make them be lost?
Well,
and the unpredictability of Team 1, I believe, is the culprit here. You don't just have 3 outstanding teams fail to coordinate for no particular reason. Dark Zero, Team Liquid, and now Team Empire have all fallen off in many ways. Why? Because Team 1 have made them so.
I wasn't talking about Empire. I was talking about Team 1 at the beginning of the group stages. Because they, and then they changed gears.
My point still stands.
Yeah, no, your point is accurate, and I agree with it, Parker. And it was an excellent point. But yeah, I was just talking about different things.
Correct.
Yes, technically correct. So
Final minute of action here, by the way,
Yep.
and almost nothing has happened. So forgive our
here's
Phil,
something.
but it's going to start now as ShepparD walks in. The slaughtering begins. Empire comes out ahead of the first couple blows, and they will continue to add to that tally. Levy wraps around, as always, has the diffuser in hand, but what target is Levy going to find? First one to see is Dan pivots. He sees the Lion, fires through the wall, the FMG. So good, but is it good enough? A 3v3 is now Neskin has been picked back up on Cool Vibe stairs. In the retake, JoyStiCK here, a pivotal spot over by 90. Fires away, takes out KDS. Scyther will take the fight to Team 1. Looking longingly, down goes the smoke of Levy, and he gets both of them. Empire starting to come back into this matchup. They pick up their third round, and their very first attack is successful.
there's Scyther once again getting aggressive on the post plant. You love to see it, and Team 1's never ready for it. It's just unexpected when it comes to Empire, but Scyther has a good read on those aggressive pushes, and it works out well for him. So Empire, that round, they throw caution to the wind. They're just like, yeah, you know what? Whatever. We're going to go. Who cares? And it works out great for them. They just rush themselves into Aqua. They come down VIP Hall, and Team 1 are just not ready for that level of confidence. Coming from a team that is being battered here on Coastline, and Empire, because of that confidence, they have managed to bring this one round away from being tied.
Attackers need to locate and
So,
defuse as many bombs as
it's
they
going to be a Sunrise Blue Bar defense next for Team 1. They're going to bring the Pulse. That's fun. Alimau, who is the top performer for his team, and in fact, close to in the lobby. Scyther's got 9 kills, so not right now. He's going to be bringing that Pulse. Good tool to have. I just want to point out, by the way, Scyther as the player who is top fragging on his team right now.
Say that again.
Scyther being the player on Empire who's top fragging right now.
Say that again.
No.
Say it one more.
10 seconds to go.
It's just unusual to see.
Scyther is actually top fragging. Did you know that?
And
5
because
On Empire.
because he's doing that, he's picking up a lot of the slack for his team.
And in the whole lobby.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's the number one.
I didn't know if you know that. I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Scyther, you're number one. Yeah.
We're number 1.
Best around.
Nope. Double bar defense. This is the
So he
most
can do it,
played
but I
bomb
can't do
site
it.
so far. That is absolutely correct.
You see how one-sided this is? This is what I have to live with.
We don't live together.
Who said that?
You live in California. I live in Toronto.
But they don't know that.
Now they do. Anyway, Empire wins their very first attacking round, and they are lined up with a similar set of tools. Lion has a disproportionate impact on a map like Coastline. Hard destruction is not as vital here, and soft destruction can be accomplished with 1 or 2 operators, so you got that wiggle room. Nicely tossed out C4 onto JoyStiCK, read by Alimau, who, interestingly enough, will be only playing close quarters with the shotgun that the FBI brings. So Lagonis can very easily play through the floor. Levy silences Dan on hookah balcony, as now we see Team 1 playing offense on defense, taking the fight straight to Empire. They'll be stopped for a moment as the EE1D goes off inside a kitchen, but Empire will reposition during that time. They only got 1 mark off of that. Nothing else came of it.
It's been a very slow Coastline, all things considered. We've had
How you say that? The first round was over in a minute.
no, but it has been a slow Coastline. This feels like the most lengthy of all the maps so
More
far.
like slow line.
You know, it kind of works.
Doesn't work at all.
But well, I
tried
know
my best.
slow because slow slime like almost sounds like slow slime, which makes me think of like slugs and. It kind of. It's I had to really mentally stretch for it, Parker, but I'm trying to be a good friend.
Thank you. Empire trails now on this entry as they forfeit that opening pick to Team 1. Team 1 are crushing Empire in these opening duels. And you know the statistics about what it's like to get that very first pick. Top frag in the lobby is at risk as Alimau now trails Scyther by a single kill. Scyther risking his life over in lobby for God and country, but he can't really do all that much. KDS gets downed and then finished off by Always from above. The Buck tearing it through. Alimau, obviously a lot of confidence as he has the pistol in hand. He'll guard over by Kitchen as a smoke canister goes off. And ShepparD is punished by Alimau with that pistol. A nice shot, I'm certain of. Scyther's the next one there. A second pistol kill could be in order as they get pings up onto Cool Vibes. Levy takes out Always, and Scyther is the last one alive. Alimau holding on this angle, and Levy takes him down. as Team 1 continues their dominance here, and they're up 5-3.
Alimau hitting shots with the pistol. Who needs an ump when you've got that 1911? And wow, well played from Alimau. So, Empire trailing 5-3 here as Team 1 put up some of their, as we've started calling it, Miracle Siege. Looks like the community poll might be...
well, it might be semi-correct.
Almost. We're halfway there.
Almost the best kind of correct. Nope. That's copyrighted. You don't want to get DMCA struck like Bikini Body did this morning.
Did he?
Yes, and what a great day it is.
Yeah.
He tweeted today something along the lines of like, oh, you know, I've been banned for, you know, DMCA strike, and Fabian was like, good, I hope it's permanent. We are all Fabian today.
Oh, jeez. Sorry to hear that.
Nope.
Anyway.
Don't lie.
Anyway, so in this match here now, if you want to check out the Esports tab in the store, you can pick up some of the skins that are, I'm sure, being run by many of these players through this match. Great Esports skins available to one and all. And if you buy the team skin specifically, it's a great way to support the teams directly. They do get a portion of the proceeds. So, as we go to Kitchen, Team 1 have been looking excellent on Coastline. They've been giving us their tip-top form. They're primed and ready to take two maps, in a row.
And that'll put Consulate as the fateful test between these teams. Empire is very familiar with that situation, but Team 1 knocked out Liquid with a tremendous 7-0 performance yesterday on Consulate. So this is a must-win for Team Empire here. Team 1 are looking so formidable, and they are just outfoxing Empire every step of the way, whether it be on attack or on defense.
Right, and the
team just continues to improve and surprise.
And the cool thing about it is that Empire they're playing poorly sometimes, but they're not playing particularly bad, and they're having moments of brilliance as well, which just goes to show how well Team 1 are playing. And it's really impressive to see them. What?
Official cast.
I don't know why. I don't know why, but Recipe was in my head. I think I was thinking like Recipe for Success or something.
Is just going to clip that in. Tear you to shreds.
It's actually only going to do it now that you did it.
There you go. See, now he gets another opportunity to do it. Just as Empire might have another opportunity here to close the gap.
Only because you said that.
In this map, they get the very first pick. Alimau goes down, who had briefly tied Scyther, or at least tried to tie Scyther.
Now he's
In
obligated.
terms of kills. Stop it.
KDS playing upstairs. Stop what? I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
He's trying to continue his roam on the top floor, using his ability to great effect. He can fall back whenever he wants. What a shot on Always, who drops and is felled as a result. No second, though, as KDS gets a little overzealous, and ShepparD will shut him down.
ShepparD bumping shoulders with Scyther over in that position, and this is a hard shot to hit for Levy. Trying to track against JoyStiCK, but the C70 does a bunch of damage. Levy's posted up. He's repositioned, and he has the drop on him. Joined up by Neskin now, as this is a kitchen defense. So all of this action occurring on the top floor, and yet there's still so much to be done for Empire. Despite that opening pick, they have only managed to equalize in numbers, and a 3v3 is where they stand with 1 minute left on the clock.
Both of the top performers still up. Levy and Scyther, 10 kills apiece. That's going to have to change as we hit the action when it comes. Dan inside of the main lobby. He's got a lot of opportunities to make a play. He's trying to isolate Levy, who's playing by that blue bar door. He also sees the rotation, and he recognizes its importance. Levy, though, might be aware of his position as he tries to adjust to confront this. The drone is good there, and the information relayed.
Levy very deceptively now sitting on 10 kills, while there's still some minor adjustments being made, anticipating the push coming in from Empire. Dan still standing sentinel inside of the courtyard. He'll look through the wall. Some bullets go over his shoulder, but he's not able to do too much. He is distracted by Levy right now. He tries to chunk away on Lagonis, who swings out again. One toxic canister remains, and now would be the time to use it. You've only got 10 seconds left. Neskin swings for the pivot. Levy gets caught from the back with Scyther to charge on in. No E1D, so it's just going to be a fist fight, and Empire doing a great job. But Neskin finds himself in a 1v2. That very quickly becomes a 0v2, and Empire claim the round to narrow the gap by 1 yet again.
12 kills for Scyther in this map so far. He has been on a roll, and he's going to be a big part of why Empire are even close to in this one, because overall in the team play, Team 1 are looking the superior roster, and we're seeing a lot of players on Empire falling flatter than usual. I mean, that kill upstairs onto JoyStiCK when he was challenging from billiards for Levy, That's massive. And it's one of those kills that shouldn't go the way that it goes because Levy's holding the angle, man. He's the one exposed. He's the one at the disadvantage, but he's just landing his shots.
Well, there's been an incredible amount of variation in these two teams and how they perform over the last 6 days of action, 5 days of action. Obviously some differences in this team. Alimao had a slow start to get on the board. Lagonis as well, who talked about how he's dedicated this major to his grandfather who had passed away. That was brought up on the screen at the tail end of map number 1. Playing under those emotional circumstances is just, I can't even imagine, is unbelievably heavy coming here, but use it as motivation, and boy oh boy, if Team 1 are channeling that energy, well, they are doing an excellent job because they have looked so phenomenal thus far. And
they really have.
Win or lose, realistically, this Team 1 squad has so much to be proud of, and they're a very young team. The sky is the limit for them, but right now they have stacked up so well against the best of the best, taking out one of the best teams in North America, taking out the best team in Latin America for a considerable period of time, and now about to do the same if they can pull ahead on Coastline, get a lead, and then profit off of Consulate. They could do the same to Empire and manage to silence 4 regions because they also took out Cyclops in the group stages.
Always will be felled low there, but not quite eliminated as he's got about 22 HP-ish from that C4 that KDS threw out. Empire now at a disadvantage, but not in terms of man count. The nade coming out from Dan, and it's poorly timed. Unfortunately, KDS getting aggressive, trying to take the fight to the enemy. He's been droned out. Now they know. It's going to be difficult for KDS to make anything happen from this position, but he's still going to try his darndest. Hard reach going onto the projector wall. They really want to take out this roamer before they start hitting the site, and that's going to be a good advantage if Empire can swing it.
Well, the focus now is on KDS, who's got those mute jammers to deny intel. It's a double bar defense at the moment.
Hard reach also stopped by the mute jammer, luckily for KDS, as he's allowed to persist in that position.
Apologies, hookah. Once again, those silhouettes.
Yeah, sometimes they can be deceptive.
They get me.
Yeah.
They're getting me a lot, actually, at this event. I don't know why.
It's, you know what?
Maybe it's because I'm a wash caster, Michael.
You might just be,
Oh, that's it. It was a good run.
yeah.
So, with the 90 seconds that have been burned off of this clock, and there's no opportunity to take out the gadgetry that is thwarting Empire, they're just going to have to run on in, and they decide to take the gunfight directly. Alimao is the first target. He takes a substantial amount of his HP away thanks to Empire, but so does Always. So both teams emerge from this with very similar HP. Nobody's really worse for wear than they were just moments before.
Still no picks, though. I mean, it's really crazy. We've had all this contact for 2 minutes. 2 minutes these teams have been shooting at each other, and not a single kill. And possibly it's because we're getting so close to the end here, as these teams are very close to finishing it off. Oh! Ooh. KDS exposes himself, and Scyther says, yes, thank you. May I have another? The answer is no, as Neskin swats him away. But meanwhile, Empire are starting to clean up. Levy has to introduce himself to the fray, and he'll do great.
40 seconds remain now, and the 2 players from Team 1, Alimao, who had been involved earlier on, will have to survive. A drop for Levy as he now scoots away. He's going to have to play below the site, leaving Alimao to stand the test of time on his own. Through the soft wall, ShepparD seems to have some information, but he doesn't know where to look. This is dire straits for Alimao. He can get swung on, and then he's down for the count, if so. He's trying to assist, or trying to get an assist, rather, from Levy, but there goes JoyStiCK. There also goes Levy, so Alimao will need to clutch, but no, we've got a tie game between these 2 Titans.
5-5, as you say, Parker, and Empire are starting to wake up. They looked, frankly, a little asleep at the wheel for the first half and a little bit of that second half, but it's always starting to show up now, and most importantly, Scyther. Oh my Scyther. What a performance he's had so far through this map. And I mentioned it earlier, he's not the typical player on Empire to pick up frag after frag after frag, but he's doing it right now. And it's because the other performance players on Empire are a little bit quiet right now. You can see that reflected on the scoreboard. It's a team effort for Empire, and it is equally so for Team 1, but it's Levy and Scyther who are putting themselves apart from the pack. You have to have one player at least every map where one of your players is just dropping tons of kills.
Now, I know for this map, and I know for Chalet, or I know for the first map, all the way back to Clubhouse, but for Chalet, obviously, there's parts of it I might have missed. Has a timeout been taken by either of these teams yet? Because from what I've seen, no.
maybe on Chalet.
I was going to say, that's the question.
Because you weren't here.
Yes, I was not here.
Yeah, I want to say that Empire did take a tactical timeout because they were losing really hard, but I'd have to check the record for that one. So we're going.
This is a question I don't have an answer to. That's why I was asking genuinely, earnestly.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure.
Very easy.
Yeah. I mean, it's frankly, on Chalet and on Clubhouse, it was the type of situation where there wasn't a lot I think a tactical timeout's going to do. Here on Coastline, though, I mean, it would be sensible to bring one out because this is a 5-5, and actually confirmed by production just now, there was apparently no timeout on Chalet, so there hasn't been one yet.
I will never understand that.
Not taking a tactical timeout.
Why, if you're losing,
try and
just take one.
Yeah, I don't really get it either, Parker. I mean, I guess for some teams it's about momentum, and even if you're losing, sometimes having the thoughts present in your mind from the last round can be relevant.
You're right.
I mean, I'm just spitballing here. Sometimes as a player, it could be weird to stop.
Of course. I don't disagree. I'm trying to figure it out myself.
Of course.
That's all.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you're playing devil's advocate.
The devil has enough people advocating for him.
Really?
Anyway. Of course, Michael. Evil exists. Oh. Well, this is round 12. We're going to need every single round to settle the score.
I'm sorry.
We're going to need every round to settle the score here as Team 1 will ride out the remaining 2 rounds on defense. Right now they're defending the double bars, and in the position that they are in, they are very apprehensive about what might await them out on the hookah balcony. Only half of the round left to go. And the drone will scoot by, revealing Levy's position. Empire desperately need to take control of this top floor, lest they try to pull. Oh, Dan having an issue there, yeah.
No, that's just spectator mode. Sometimes it can be weird with falling and recall.
Yeah, well, thank you for letting me know. They're trying to burn out the ADSs and any magnets that might be present, as now a grenade will follow in, and a nitro cell will claim Always as KDS gets the lead-off kill with still just a bit over a minute to go.
You can tell because of the bullet holes. Empire find themselves 1 down with a minute, but they've got the control that they want. They're going to be able to open up from above. I mean, they would be if they had anything to open up from above with. All they have really is Ash Chargers, and JoyStiCK's already in main lobby, so he's not going to be able to do that. It's really unfortunate that Always was the first pick of this round. And I mean, it's unfortunate in general how Always is performing because he's been such an important player through the tournament to only be going 6-9 right now.
Yeah, a bit of a sluggish performance here, even if he is 6-9.
Nice.
So up top, 40 seconds remain for Empire, even though they trail in numbers. Match point awaits the winner of this round. It's our favorite round because no matter what, the next round becomes do or die.
Right.
So Team 1 will try to hold off. KDS will be the first line of defense, and he gets droned out, preemptively firing away, but Scyther wins the duel, marching forward. Diffuser in the hands of ShepparD, so he'll be guided into the A bomb site. And on the ground is Levy as Dan takes him out. Alimao refrags onto JoyStiCK, pivots, and he's got the whole wall opened up, leading into the bomb site, but he can't find any kills with it just yet. Scyther's in, and Empire are cleaning up. It seems like match point is theirs for the taking, but they have to stop Alimao in the process as he fires through the wall, but he'll forfeit that opportunity. It's just ShepparD and Alimao in a 1v1. Scyther will need to be picked up, and through the wall there they go, and he gets flung on! And what a clutch from Alimao! He'll get both of the kills, a huge quad, and it's Team 1 on match point!
Alimao, what a win! Team 1 had lost control of the situation in that round and in this map, but Alimao stops it cold. And Empire, they don't have the coats necessary nor the chops to land the shots, and we are going to go to match point.
Well, this is where you'd want to take your time out, but I don't know if Empire is going to do that or not. So far, no. As was told, no timeouts have been taken. And a quick glance over to Empire, there's no headset down on the coach's side of things. I don't think they want to risk that because the one thing to note is that taking a timeout right now also allows your opponents to communicate with their coach.
It's true.
So not only does Empire get a timeout, but so too would Team 1.
Yes.
If you think that you have what it takes, and so far, Empire have 3 of these 5 rounds that they've played on attack. All you need is one more. The odds at the present moment are in your favor. All you need to do is just try to ride this out and potentially save that timeout, if required, for overtime. But you got to get there first.
Right.
3 minutes could separate Team 1 from going up onto series point if they prevail here, leaving them Consulate, their map, to shut out Empire with a 3-1 scoreline. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Empire have shown that they can very evenly match up with Team 1 on this map. and they need to prove that again on this round.
It's a little bit of post-round analysis for that last one because we skipped over it. It was so exciting. Empire, they played it flawlessly. They contained Team 1. They got the picks. Team 1 way too passive. They needed to address the angles, be a little bit more, confronting the actual fights. The only oversight, the one from Empire that we saw, was JoyStiCK in main lobby. He rushed down white stairs because he saw the team fight popping off in sight, and he thought to himself, I've got to get into the action. But he didn't account for the echo that was in main lobby. That's Alimao. Because JoyStiCK died there without even putting up a fight, that's what allowed Alimao to retake the site and win the round. Apart from that, Empire were nearly perfect on that execution.
And Empire seemed to want an aggressive first play as Alimao gets droned out. Dan could contest, he does, taking a chunk of HP away from Alimao, but not successful in the kill that he wanted. That's going to allow the Mute to continue to play inside of the lobby, and Alimao will just exist there if need be before making his way over to security. His avenue can lead over to office as well, as this is a kitchen defense. When you attack kitchen, as Empire will, you need to ensure a couple things. Number one, you need to make sure that your chief soft destructor, whether it be a sledge, whether it be a buck, in this particular case, it's going to be the buck of Always, takes up residency upstairs in penthouse. Chew through that floor and make people pay. KDS taken out, and oh my goodness, how many alibis are there? There's so many, it's a hall of mirrors in front of JoyStiCK as he wiggles around it, his position given away, and Neskin manages to get out of dodge with KDS falling, but Dan walks in and picks up 2 free kills. It looks like we're going to overtime with the way that Empire have cracked this round open.
Alimao, though, still alive. He could be the difference maker, Parker. He's been the difference maker before. He's got this 1.5 MP5K, a formidable weapon when you're landing your shots. It's all about finding those heads. We'll see if he can do that. He's going to be challenged, and there it is. Alimao gone. Dan will get his 3rd for the round. It's all on Lagonis. He's got to find an ace in a minute. No, it's not going to happen. A flawless round from Empire, and we go to overtime.
Really remarkable stuff done by Empire there. Ice in their veins. As cold as the Siberian winters, Michael. And now we have 2 rounds, potentially 3, to seal the deal and see what is going to happen. Oh my.
Yeah, it's an oh my type of map, Parker. And it's actually the first one of this series, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, the last 2 maps were mercifully fast for people who are in different time zones.
If they're in a hurry, you know, they got to get somewhere else.
Maybe they, maybe they got to go somewhere. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the bathroom.
Why would you choose that of all the things?
I
feel like
couldn't tell you.
There's plenty of different things.
Random thought, you know.
Just let me spitball here. The bathroom. You know?
It's a place people go.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you
does
gotta
happen.
Go. I was thinking more of a time zone perspective because we started at roughly around 11:30 here, which on the East Coast is 12:30, which in Europe is 6:30. So, if you are a fan of Team Empire, and Russia is, as far as I'm aware, even farther forward than we are, well, it's going to be a late night for you. That's for sure.
Yeah, I did hear about a lot of Europeans staying up to watch the final rounds.
We thank you for your sacrifice.
Of these matches. We had the semis and the groups and all that stuff, and I hope you're enjoying the show. No, I certainly am.
I wanted this on all of the maps, for the record, but now we're seeing it here on Coastline, so...
5 seconds.
Of course, Coastline is the one map that is the closest.
I mean...
No, not Clubhouse, which is a defensive struggle where both teams win 4-2. No, of course not.
I did predict that. I mean, it's kind of honestly, it makes sense. This is one of the maps that both teams are good at. This is very dangerous, by the way, what Alimao is doing here. It's definitely a gamble, but I don't know. I think he could pull it off. He's been landing his shots today.
We'll see.
It's a Warden being brought, by the way. It's that 1.5 MPX so lethal.
It's the first Warden that we've seen between these 2 teams, by the way. So, rejoice as the operator variety continues onwards. The spice of life.
Yes, as they say.
Well, I mean, there's a Ying ban that was brought out, so the importance of Alimao on this role is significantly lessened, but do keep in mind that any smokes that might be present, he can see through as well. The good news is that there are no smokes. So the only thing he'll have to ride out are the flashbangs that are present and actually available in spades.
So Empire has firm Aqua control. I don't know if they've got below control, though, because they could get C4'd later on. They got to be careful about that. I remember BDS, when they were playing Coastline, was C4ing underneath in this map quite a lot, and that punished Empire on the Aqua take. So it's possible that Team 1 will exploit that as well. He's just going to be opening up from above. There's nothing below to see just yet. This is a very basic setup here. Levy and Alimao are the denial. They've got C4 and gas canisters, and Alimao can see through smokes. So this is a good set. You only need those 2 players from Team 1 to deny the plant. Meanwhile, the other 3 players from Team 1 can go on roams, try to pick off players from the side, come up from behind, C4 from below. Lots of options.
Oh, early action as KDS downstairs, 90 seconds in, and he'll be frozen in place by the EE1D as Empire very quickly uses that to begin their attack towards the site, burning out the ADS. And could another go as well as the Ash charges from JoyStiCK look to be doing all right. A C4 in a relatively common spot below.
Love it.
That might be able to take out the planter when it goes down. It'll be
see.
poor ShepparD who would be at the mercy of that.
No guarantee that it'll be successful, but it probably will be considering they placed it.
I thought we saw one similar to that in this matchup that did not work out, and while KDS had looked for a kill earlier on, he'll get it. He wanted it desperately. It's Dan to fall. The Lion of Scyther and Levy will be battling 1v1, mano-a-mano, over by 90. Scyther on 15 kills, leading the way in this lobby. He has been a very pivotal part of his team, and he will be no more. As KDS gets a very crucial kill. Nitro Cell goes up. It does not thread through the bars, so ShepparD stays alive for now. Alimao takes a beating, disengaging those glasses as he'll still play around this angle. At some point, that diffuser will need to be planted by ShepparD, which will leave Empire in a position where they only have 2 players to watch against the 5 from Team 1. A very tense moment as KDS has been a playmaker. Alimao goes down. KDS might follow, but JoyStiCK is having some difficulties no longer. He gets the kill, and immediately, instead of finishing, we'll head over towards Cool Vibes, where he confronts those barbed wires. The Nitro Cell works out into ShepparD, by the way. Always picks it up, but Lagonis sweeps in, and that's it for that round. Team 1 go up, and they're on match point.
Huge round from Team 1. A couple things. Number 1, KDS, yeah, he didn't get a kill on his roam, but wow, what a good roam. Delayed for a really long time. Number 2, Team 1 did get the first 2 picks in that round, sincerely blunting the momentum on Empire's side. Number 3, so fun. That's C4. Oh, that's cool. I mean, it's the little things, right? It's hard for that to be countered. You have to do a downstairs clear, or maybe deal with it through a grenade from big window or something like that. But it's basically a guaranteed stop on the plant as soon as you want it. And it's instantaneous. It's not a gas canister. There's no disengage option for the attackers. If they go for that plant, you know it, you deny it.
There's a way that they've reworked the whole explosion and shrapnel mechanic now, where if there's an opening beneath and it can loop around, it basically works in that sphere. It is very confusing, by the way. And there are countless clips that you'll see on social media of people being dumbfounded by getting killed from nitro cells or grenades that certainly don't look like they're even in the same area code as you are, and yet it still works out that way. It works very similar to the sound propagation system, which confuses players from time to time, but ultimately has a purpose to it in the way that it works. So a smart C4, and it's nice to see it pulled off.
Yeah, explosives used to be really simple, and then I think in an effort to try and polish them up, they got overcomplicated, and now they can be really confusing. But when you find little things like that, you can use them to cheese the heck out of your opponent, and that's exactly what Team 1 did. But I will say, even without that C4, there's no guarantee that Empire would have been able to take that round, frankly. Team 1 were set up very well to take it. So we're talking about the C4 because it's relevant, but it's not the only component of that last round.
I mean, the big loss was your lack of droning. How does KDS get to exist the way he does without ever getting spotted? And then every challenge that comes out, he's able to win on because you don't have the information to deal with him.
I would say, generally speaking, I think we've been seeing better information from Team 1 over this series, and especially over Coastline.
I am glad, though, that Empire banned the Valkyrie. They had some troubles with that against BDS earlier. They made Dan run on this IQ, and he'll engage. He'll take a shot onto Levy, fire across the bow, but both players walk away with about the same HP. Still, Dan's position has been given away.
That hesitation from Dan to try and go for the run out, but then not fully commit, I mean, that just goes to show how Empire is feeling right now. And Dan, as a player, if he does fully commit to those takes, those pushes, I guess you could call them, he is going to get the kill. But he has to really commit.
I mean, Dan has been okay thus far throughout this matchup. He hasn't been stealing the show for his team, but, I mean, he's hanging in there. The rest of Empire has actually fallen quite a ways behind. In terms of killing potential, Team 1 have been doing a magnificent job by comparison, even though it has been an absolute squeezer of a matchup.
Yes, it has, Parker, and we'll see who gets the final say. There's potentially only 1:30 left in this match, depending on the result of the round. Team 1, though, look poised to take it as they have top floor control above Sunrise and a sledge in hand. this is a really good position for the attackers to find themselves in. And they're probably pretty easily going to be able to convert this to a site hit.
Well, we'll see. I mean, the question is going to be who blinks first. The opening pick has been particularly crucial over the last half of this map, and I have no doubt that it will continue on in that direction. With it being a double bars defense and the stack up that we see from Empire, this top floor control that Neskin needs to establish sooner rather than later becomes the most critical component, while the rest of Team 1 focuses on Mudroom. The Lion is lined up in such a way, and the Zofia too, to try and slow them down, but Dan has a long-range angle towards that doorway when they go to reach in.
There's still not a lot of control by B right now for Empire, and I'm worried for their sake because I suspect this is going to be an easy... Yeah, look how far removed they are from that position right now. The denial is going to be difficult. I mean, they've got the setup, but I don't know. Team 1 have been good at wiggling through this.
Always and Dan are so far back, and at some point, they're going to bait Team 1 in and fight for a retake, but just like that, JoyStiCK gets Neskin, the grenade dropped, he'll blow up, some of the floor goes, and JoyStiCK pushes forward. Ali Mao takes down Scyther, one from KDS, and Team 1 are sweeping in. They're just absolutely pummeling Empire, and now Dan goes too. ShepparD has been magnificent, but he's in a 1v4, that becomes a 1v3. This is Team 1's map to lose right now as the diffuser gets planted, and they don't lose it, they win it. Team 1 takes Coastline from Empire 8-6, and they only have one more map to go to be crowned major champions.
Huge win from Team 1 as they find themselves now in the lead overall in the series, and they are looking super solid, Parker.
Unbelievable